Hello and welcome once again to another retro review for Cheap Shot Entertainment. And we're still going through the year 2002. We're now in December. It's December the 15th, 2022. 20 years ago on this date, we had Armageddon, in WWE terms, of course. Armageddon 2002. It took place at the Office Depot Centre, or now known as the National Car Rental Centre, in Sunrise, Florida. And it, like I say, it was a joint effort between Raw and SmackDown, joint pay-per-view, and it took place on the 15th of December. In front of 9,000 people, and of course it's on the network on demand, or Peacock if you're in America. The theme song, very rare, The End by Jim Johnson, the classic composer that gave us many great entrance themes, including Stone Cold's entrance theme, The Undertaker's entrance theme, The Rock's entrance theme, and all sorts of other entrance themes. The man was just genius. And obviously the main event is Shawn Michaels versus Triple H, the last two members of the Elimination Chamber, where Shawn Michaels won the championship. This is for the world title, and that is going to be contested in a 2 out of 3 falls, what they would call a 3 stages of hell match at this point in time. The arena, of course, is appearing in a couple of video games. It is WWE 2K15, WWE SmackDown Here Comes the Pain, and WWE Raw 2. And without further ado, let's get into the main part of the video. But before we do that, if you like the video, you liking what we're doing with the retro reviews, 20 years passed since we do the reviews, and we release them on the exact date. So there's a lot of stuff that I'm doing in between, obviously work and stuff like that, so I hope you're appreciating it. And if you do, please click like and subscribe, leave us a comment. Can you remember this pay-per-view? Of course, I can't remember whether it was still available on Channel 4 at this point in time. I believe that was more the 2000s that were available on Channel 4 in the UK. Well, let's get into this one. It's the last show of 2002 before we move into 2003. Join me there.
This is awesome! This is awesome!
So we get the opening promo package featuring Classy Freddie Blassie, God rest him, and get the music as well. The end is near, the end is here, and we go straight into the fatal 4-way elimination tag team match for the World Tag Team Championships, the newly minted World Tag Team Championships, because they were the old style Tag Team Championships. Then the brand split came. SmackDown got the championships over there with the blue, looked like the classic Tag Team Championships. Love that championship. And Raw got their own championship with the gold and red and all that kind of stuff. I've got both of them actually in child title belt form. I think I bought them when I was at uni for a night out. So yeah, another story for another time. But it is Chris Jericho and Christian, the current champions, going into this, and they are going against Booker T and Goldust. William Regal and Lance Storm, who are on one hell of a run apparently at this point in time, winning 7 tag team matches in a row, and the Dudley Boys as well, Devon and Bubba Ray Dudley, the newly reformed Dudley Boys, as of Survivor Series 2002. Anyway, yeah. So basically, there's 2 people in the ring on this one. Unlike the championship match for the tag titles, the triple threat, where 3 people were in the ring at any one time, so it's more like a traditional triple threat. There's only 2 people in the ring in this one. So tags can happen anywhere, they can happen to any team. Obviously, you're going to get a lot of tags between teammates. Obviously, it doesn't take long for this one to break down, but basically what happens for the first fall is that William Regal gets the blind tag, and after a 3D, William Regal comes in. He does eventually get the because the 3D was on Lance Storm, referee doesn't count because William Regal is legal. William Regal then goes for the pin, and Bubba Ray tries to roll through. William Regal rolls back, and a bit of a hook of the tights, or the shorts in this case, and William Regal eliminates the Dudley Boys. There was a bit of confusion here between the fans and the commentary desk as well, because it didn't quite look like it had, but it had. So, yeah, the Dudley Boys are eliminated. Quickly after this, Goldust comes in and eliminates William Regal and Lance Storm with in fact, I can't even remember how it happens, but they eliminate William Regal really quickly in this one. So Lance Storm and William Regal are eliminated, and then we get down to the last 2. So I mean, that didn't take too long to actually happen. So yeah, there's that. It happened really quickly. That being said, that section of the match was pretty good. They kept it nice and clean for the most part, and then just the sort of melee towards the end of that first opening section of the match to get the 2 quick pinfalls. So we've got the current champions Jericho and Christian in the ring with Booker T and Goldust. So who is going to pick up the victory here? Lots of hijinks here from Christian and Jericho, with a title belt shot that hits squarely between the eyes to Booker T. Booker T kicks out, manages to kick out. Christian goes for the title shot again, walks straight into a bookend as Goldust and Christian are fighting on the outside, and gets the victory for his team. So we have new World Tag Team Champions in Booker T and Goldust, and it's their first run. I think it's Goldust's official first Tag Team Championship in the WWE, and I believe it could be Booker T's as well in the WWE. Not his first Tag Team Championship, but in WWE it's his first Tag Team Championship. So, yeah, really, really well done match, actually. Apart from that first section being really quick, and the second section being probably twice as long as the first bit, eliminating 2 teams. But we then got to see like the pure tag team bout, which I'm always in favour of. And to say these 2 teams have been chucked together, they were really well, worked really well together, worked well as a team, and yeah, just really, really, it was a good match. Just in general, it was a good match. So I'm going to give this one 3.5 cheap shots out of 5. It wasn't perfect. Probably too many teams in this one for how it panned out, but I understand they've got to try and build up a new tag team division. So it was perfectly good, and a really good opener. They do seem to do really good openers in 2002, do WWE. So we move on to the next match, and I'll see you there. We go to the back now with Josh Matthews, who is trying to find Brock Lesnar. He does happen upon Brock Lesnar and asks the burning question on everybody's lips, which is, are you going to be in Kurt Angle's corner tonight? As Kurt Angle has promised Brock Lesnar the first title opportunity should he win the championship. Brock Lesnar says he is here to make an impact. And as Taz alludes to, Brock Lesnar always makes an impact. We go on to the next match now. It is A-Train versus Edge. Edge is defending the honour of his good friend Rey Mysterio. At Survivor Series, they lost the tag team championships to Los Guerreros. And during an episode of SmackDown, A-Train wanted to make a name for himself, so he attacked Rey Mysterio with a chair and subsequently attacked Edge with a chair, hitting both of them on the knees. Edge managing to probably not make a full recovery from the attack, but enough to appear at Armageddon to have a match with A-Train. This match is two contrasting styles. Of course, Edge being quicker and probably a bit more of a high flyer. He does come off the top rope quite a lot during this period of his career, even though he's going for main event championships. In fact, there is one spot here which is absolutely awesome, and if you want to see a big guy fly, then this is, well, it's one of the matches. Obviously, the main match for that is Rikishi jumping off the top of the cage on top of Val Venis back in 2000. Check it out. It's I can't even remember which show it was from, but it was cool. Anyway, so one of the main points in this match, Edge tries to fly off the top. Obviously not a match for Albert in terms of strength, so he tries to use his quickness and his high-flying ability. Albert, or A-Train, hits him with a thrust kick off the top, which is quite good, quite impressive, because A-Train gets his foot up really high in order to cut Edge off. But it would end in a bit of a downer, because the finish came at the hands of a steel chair, which Albert brought into the ring. And in front of the referee, Albert gets disqualified by hitting Edge on the knee again to try and take him out. Bit of a sad finish to this one. Never like disqualification finishes unless there's a reason for it. I didn't see a reason for this, apart from the fact that it was the steel chair that took Rey Mysterio out. So Albert then tries to continue the assault. Edge manages to kick the chair back in Albert's bowling ball sized head, and he then assaults Albert with the chair. The referee tries to stop Edge from doing so. Edge scares the referee out of the ring and continues the assault until the chair is no longer, basically. Edge is your winner by disqualification in this one, and I'm going to give this one, it's a bit of a throwaway match really, I'm going to give it 1.5 cheap shots out of 5. Did what it needed to do to further storylines, but not my preferred way of finishing a match. I mean, at least when you've got a manager with you, you can distract and do all that kind of stuff, like Jamie Noble and Nydia, who do it absolutely perfectly as a duo. So yeah, like I say, 1.5 cheap shots out of 5, bit of a throwaway, bit of an in-between match. You have your big starter, then you have your in-betweens, and this one was definitely an in-between match. We go to the back again with the Big Show and Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman is really worried because Brock says he's here to make an impact. Big Show just looks at Paul Heyman and says, "Get it sorted." Obviously Paul Heyman does his worried face because Big Show is a big guy, hence why he's called Big Show. And we move on to the next match. So the next match, It's just up and down and up in this one. It's like riding Space Mountain, except without Ric Flair. Anyway, yeah, this match really good. Obviously, we've had the World Championship match, World Tag Team Championship match. So there is no WWE Tag Team Championship match on this show because Eddie Guerrero, one half of the Guerreros, one half of the WWE Tag Team Champions in 2002 in December, is in a singles match with Chris Benoit. Obviously, Chris Benoit, Kurt Angle have gone their separate ways now. They're no longer a tag team. Kurt Angle is in the championship match, having won the Fatal 4-Way. Eddie Guerrero cost Benoit his chance at becoming number one contender in that Fatal 4-Way match after being eliminated by hitting Benoit over the back of the head with his title, thusly getting him eliminated and leading to this little feud. So they're former friends, now going towards being enemies. They've got a lot of kinks to work out, obviously, and what better way to do that in WWE than do it in between the three ropes in the squared circle. So, yeah, this match is bloody good. It's excellent. It's a wrestling masterclass. Obviously, these two absolutely know each other inside out. Eddie Guerrero being all dastardly and heel and really just trying to take every shortcut he can. Chris Benoit leaning towards the sort of more face side of his character, still really intense, rabid Wolverine, yeah, it's just a real back and forth. This for all of Eddie Guerrero's early work on Chris Benoit, Chris Benoit manages to come back really, really well and pick up the victory with the crossface, despite being hooked up in the lasso from El Paso. And I have said before on videos how much I love that move because it's great. Even with interference from Chavo Guerrero with the title belt initially on the outside, and a couple of times when Benoit goes up top for the flying headbutt, Chavo gets involved again. It doesn't factor into the finish. However, like I say, Benoit gets locked into the lasso from El Paso. He manages to reverse that into a crossface. Eddie Guerrero almost reaches the ropes. As Taz says, the ring can be your worst enemy or it can be your best friend. And as someone who is training, that couldn't be any closer to the truth. It can be all sorts of crazy in there, depending on how it's feeling that particular day, whether the ropes are tight or all sorts of different factors. So, this match, bloody fantastic. Submission finish, and having the downer of the disqualification finish in the last match between Edge and A-Train. This really picked up the show. This could be the highlight of the night, apart from the main event. And it's nothing more than you'd expect from Eddie Guerrero and Chris Benoit. Both of them are brilliant. Obviously no longer with us. One celebrated, one not celebrated. It doesn't take away from his in-ring work, in my opinion. But yeah, I know why the WWE don't talk about him. He's still on all the shows. They've not tried to blur him out. He still has his part in history. But yeah, maybe that's a discussion for another day. But great match from both of them. Either way, I would have been happy whoever won. Great finish as well. Like I say, Eddie Guerrero almost reaching the ropes. Benoit He nearly reached the ropes, tried to roll through to try and get the pin with the shoulders down, but Benoit uses the momentum and rolls all the way through and gets the victory. Eddie Guerrero taps out to the crossface. At this match, I'm going to give 4 cheap shots out of 5. Really good match, fantastic match. I'm dropping it down a cheap shot because of the cheap shots that Chavo was privy to. Maybe the one shot, that's absolutely fine. With Eddie Guerrero feigning his injuries and stuff like that. So they did it really, really well when they did do those interferences. To the T, in fact, but just one too many in the match. Kind of took away from the ending. Yeah, really good. We move on to the next segment, which is Paul E, or Paul Heyman, as he is known in WWE, wandering in on Stephanie McMahon, saying, why is Brock Lesnar being allowed to enter the building? He should be suspended. Stephanie McMahon says his suspension has been lifted, and it's up to Brock Lesnar whether he wants to appear at ringside or not. Paul Heyman then comes back with a warning for Brock Lesnar and for Stephanie. He said if Brock Lesnar gets involved, then Big Show will break Brock Lesnar's neck. And Stephanie smiles. I've got to say, Stephanie is looking very good in her business suit and holding a coffee. Always had a bit of a thing for Stephanie McMahon. Definitely the business suit for me, definitely. Anyway, what's your favourite version of Stephanie McMahon? Mine's definitely business suit McMahon from 2002. So the next segment we get is both alluring and a testament to how far wrestling has come. It is a segment involving Dawn Marie and Tori Wilson, 2 of my favourite divas, I have to say, for more reasons than the way they look. But this obviously involves Al Wilson. It is that storyline with Al Wilson marrying Dawn Marie. Dawn Marie says that she will call off the wedding to her dad. Not Dawn Marie's dad, to Tori Wilson's dad, Al Wilson. If Tori Wilson meets her at room 357, which is her hotel room, which is Dawn Marie's hotel room, and does anything that she asks her to do, because she admits that Al is not the only Wilson that she has an interest in. Wow, we're going for the incest angle. I completely forgot about this. That being said, she rolls the footage because, wherever you go, you've got to be cameras, of course, and this is, I'm going to say it, this is hot. This is genuinely, really right on the edge of 2002 WWE. There wasn't much to upstage this until, obviously, 2005, when you had the live sex show with Edge and Lita. So Tori walks in, Dawn Marie feeds her strawberries, she strips her off. Just so happens that Tori's wearing pull undo underwear with ties on it. So, I mean, I have a thing for Tori Wilson, I'm not going to lie. And it was sexy. I genuinely. Anyway, all the way through this, she stops it at the kiss, and it is a full-on kiss. It's not a half-arsed kiss or anything like that. It is full-on. She stops it. She says, "You people like this, so well, maybe I'll roll the footage a bit more because Tori Wilson isn't here." At that point, the party pooper known as Al Wilson says, "No, you can't do that. That's my daughter." All this time, he's just stood there watching it. Yes. So Dawn Marie says that she doesn't care and she's going to roll the footage anyway. Al Wilson stops it again, and Dawn Marie says, "Okay, if you don't want me to go any further, we'll go and make our own video back at the hotel room." And Al Wilson accepts, of course, because he's a bloke. But there's something quite wrong about this. Really, really, really. Yeah. But something wrong and yet so right. And yeah, so that's that section, segment. Yeah, I've lost my train of thought. And we move on to the next match, which is a newly debuted Batista back in 2002, being accompanied to the ring by, the Nature Boy, Ric Flair. And he's going against another monster in Kane. So Kane hits the pyro before the match, and everybody knows that if Kane hits the pyro before the match, he's losing. Anyway, the classic big man match doesn't go very long. It's hard hitting. They don't pull any punches or back strikes, clubs, all that kind of stuff. It is full on, and it's a decent big man match with Batista picking up the victory with the help of Ric Flair, and it was okay. I'm going to give this one 3 cheap shots out of 5. I realised that I've talked more about the hotel room scene than the actual match, but when you see that before a match, it kind of takes you away from things, doesn't it? Anyway, yeah, like I say, good match. 3 cheap shots out of 5. Batista picks up his victory on the first pay-per-view he has been a part of, and of course 12 months later he would be fully part of Evolution, who would rule the roost by December 2003. Next segment at Armageddon 2002 sees that champion Kurt Angle searching for Brock Lesnar, who's in the building, and says that he will make his presence felt during the WWE Championship match between Kurt Angle and The Big Show, featuring Paul Heyman, of course. We then get introduced to John Cena. This was a good year for introductions for new talents: John Cena, Batista, Randy Orton, Brock Lesnar, of course. All graduates of Ohio Valley Wrestling, OVW, the precursor to NXT, as it were. And John Cena comes out, does his rap shtick, and he's there with B-Double Jizzle, whatever his name is, otherwise known as Bull Buchanan. Anyway, he goes a cappella, and it's John Cena. Anyway, we move on to the women's match. It is a triple threat match between Trish Stratus, Jacqueline, and Victoria. It is for the women's championship. And all 3 of these women just beat the tar out of each other. You can tell this is the point where Finlay was working with them and doing lots and lots of stuff and saying, the women can go at the same rate as the guys, and they certainly can. They don't get as much time, and it's really disappointing that the segment with Tori Wilson and Dawn Marie got more time than an actual women's wrestling match, which was actually pretty good for the time that they had, but it couldn't have gone any more than 5 minutes. And that is including the entrances as well, which is terrible. But it doesn't take away from this match. Trish does all the work. takes out Jacqueline with the chip kick. Victoria pulls Trish Stratus out of the ring, gets in the ring, gets the 1, 2, 3. Victoria is your winner and still champion. Going to be nice this one because it is a decent match. It's not, it's not very long. Can't really review something, but it was neither bad nor terribly good because they didn't have much time to do things. So I'm going to go straight down the middle. I'm going to give it 2.5 cheap shots out of 5. Like I say, really difficult to review this one because of the limited amount of time that they were afforded. Just before the WWE Championship match, we do get Kurt Angle and Brock Lesnar finally speaking to each other, and Kurt Angle says, "What's going to happen? You did the unthinkable. You picked up the 500-pound Big Show and F5'd him. Are you going to be in my corner?" Brock still playing his cards close to his chest as we go into the next match. So we move into the WWE Championship match next, and it is the Big Show, the champion, taking the title off of Brock Lesnar with the help of Paul Heyman, who will be at ringside with him for this match. Going against the number one contender, Kurt Angle, who won I believe it was a fatal 4-way match on SmackDown to get that opportunity. Brock Lesnar has had his suspension lifted by Stephanie McMahon, thanks to Kurt Angle. And Kurt Angle pleads with Brock Lesnar to be at his side for the match because, you know, Paul Heyman is ringside. And as we saw at Survivor Series, that's a good thing for whoever he's with. Now, this match, actually really, really good. Two contrasting styles. Shows how good Big Show is, carrying his frame around the ring. And shows how good Kurt Angle is, carrying Big Show's frame around the ring. Because it's really no secret that Big Show at this point in time was, he's being pushed a little bit, but he wasn't healthy. 500 pounds, you know, that's going to take its toll. I mean, he looked decent at this point in time. He did. But he's also wearing jeans rather than wrestling gear. So we all know that Vince McMahon is not a lover of people if they look big. To the extent where he will make them put clothes on. You know, you've got Corbin, for example. When he got a little bit bigger, Vince told him to put a shirt on. You know, it's terrible, but that's Vince McMahon. So, Kurt Angle really, really well worked this match with Big Show. We do get a little bit of interference with A-Train or Albert or whatever he's called at this point in time coming down to the ring, giving Kurt Angle that vicious backbreaker, which is like an over-the-shoulder backbreaker, dropping down to his knees. After the referee's been taken out, of course. And, Kurt Angle's in a bit of a state at this point, but he did have the ankle lock on for quite some time before that. And he also did hit the Angle slam as well. That's when A-Train came out. And of course, Paul Heyman being Paul Heyman. But after the backbreaker was hit, Big Show hit the chokeslam. Kurt Angle did kick out. And whilst the referee is down again, Brock Lesnar comes out. F5. Kurt Angle crawls into the pin. The referee wakes up as Paul Heyman is getting chased out of the arena in a very comic-like fashion that only Paul Heyman could do by Brock Lesnar, and we get a new WWE champion at Armageddon. Well deserved. It's a shame that Big Show didn't hold it for a little bit longer, but he was sort of like a placeholder because it would lead to one of the greatest WrestleMania moments of all time at WrestleMania 19 between Kurt Angle and Brock Lesnar, which we'll get into next year, of course, because we are nearing the end of 2022, which means that we're going into the year 2023, and 20 years previous would have been 2003, another great year for WWE, constantly reinventing itself. Anyway, this match, I'm going to give it 4 cheap shots out of 5. Like I say, it is a good match. It's well carried by 2 veterans of the sport. I say sport, it's sports entertainment, with Kurt Angle just being brilliant and Big Show showing that he can do stuff and just can't move around as well as he used to. But, you know, that being said, he can still go, which is good. So yeah, that's the WWE title match. We then go to WWE New York, or the world as it is now, in Times Square, and we find out that the jobber in New York at the world. I keep getting that wrong. I keep wanting to call it WWE New York. At the world is Rob Van Dam. He just had a title match. And you can tell every time they do this segment, month in, month out, that if you've been put there, you've either done something wrong or there's just like a complete deflation of the wrestlers that are down there. Unless you're Nydia and Jamie Noble, of course, and you have a kissing competition. But yeah, you can tell. So yeah, gives Rob Van Dam a chance to be on pay-per-view. I don't know if they got paid the same as being actually in the pay-per-view building. But yeah, gives him a chance to show his face. Maybe he's got a bit of an injury from the Elimination Chamber match from Survivor Series, I don't know. But he talks about the 2 competitors in this match and how much spirit they both have and how cunning Triple H is. And of course then you've got Ric Flair at ringside as well. Completely unpredictable. It is a 3 stages of hell match, which is coming up next. It's now time for the main event, and it is a 2 out of 3 falls match, otherwise known as the 3 stages of hell. Around this time, there's only been a very few amount of these matches, and it's for a good reason. Basically, the 2 combatants pick the 3 matches that they will have, and the only occurrence of this that I can think of in modern times before this actually involved Triple H, and it was against Stone Cold Steve Austin. Steve Austin was going for revenge for the incident with the car and all that kind of stuff, because it was in 2000. Yeah, it was 2000. Yeah, that was it. Yeah, it was February 2000. No Way Out, I believe. No, it can't have been. No, because that was Cactus Jack. No, it was 2001. Anyway. That was the only other occurrence of this 3 stages of hell. In this one, it is a street fight to start us off, followed by a cage match, followed by a ladder match if it's needed. So basically, if the person gets 2 straight falls, then the final match is not needed, much like Triple H did in 2001. But he got 2 straight falls from having lost the first one, which was a straight wrestling match against Stone Cold Steve Austin. This one is no straight wrestling matches. This one's all about revenge, and it was set up perfectly. Triple H losing the championship to Shawn Michaels, the current World Heavyweight Champion, in the new concept known as the Elimination Chamber, coming back from 4 years of absence due to a broken back. Very storied. Triple H knows that that's where the weakness is. Triple H also carrying an injury into this match. So the first match, Street Fight. Second match is a cage match, and if needed, there will be a ladder match. So Michaels and Triple H battled it out inside the ring. Triple H tried to suplex Michaels over the ropes and through a table, but Michaels countered and suplexed Triple H right back into the ring. This first fall actually is really, it starts off really well. They do the very basics to start with. If you are training to be a wrestler and you watch this match, you think, actually, you know what? This is a main event in a major pay-per-view with two of the greatest, and you're watching these guys do roll-ups and all the basics, basically. What's called an international. Before starting to smack each other around the head, or Triple H gets a bin and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, so the street fight is nuts. Shawn Michaels gets on top quite early on. It takes Triple H out of the ring. Does the baseball slide, takes him out, and Triple H goes for a bin underneath the ring, knowing what Shawn Michaels is going to pull next. So he hides the bin underneath his sort of prone body. Shawn Michaels does the springboard over the top rope, and Triple H moves out of the way. Shawn Michaels hits the bin, and he is pretty much down with that one. Michaels attempts a Sweet Chin Music. Triple H catches Michaels' knee. Triple H focuses on the knee, even though that's not the weak part of Shawn Michaels. It's the weak part of Triple H. But this is where the cerebral assassin really comes in, because, it's one of those things. If you're not carrying the injury that your opponent is, then, or you're carrying an injury that your opponent's not, then it makes sense to bring them back down to your level. And Triple H brings out a 2x4. It's wrapped in barbed wire, bringing out all of his Cactus Jack memorabilia here, and he lights it on fire because the staging for this show is absolutely brilliant. It's got fire and all sorts of stuff. It really looks like an Armageddon set. Shawn Michaels counters this and nails Triple H in the face with the flaming 2x4 and hits him straight in the head. Triple H is busted open early in this one. Triple H picks up the first fall, though, as he pins Michaels after hitting a pedigree after getting back to the ring. So that's it. We get the first fall. There's no breathers in this one. They start lowering the cage. Triple H knows that he's got time to nip outside the ring, start throwing in some weapons, get it nice and nice and even. Tables, chairs, more bins. Of course, you got to go for the bins. And we're into fall 2. Triple H catapults Michaels into the cage wall nice and early here, and starts grinding Michaels' head into the cage to bust him open after a back and forth Triple H and Michaels. This one ends after some real brutality and Ric Flair getting into the ring and getting busted open straight away. Michaels picks up the victory, setting up the table, putting Triple H on it, and hitting a splash off the cage to pick up the second fall. So it does go to a third and final fall, the decider, which is the ladder match. The ring comes down, the Earl Hebner puts the title on the hook, and then it gets raised up in the air, and the ladder match is yeah, it's phenomenal. The fact that these two go like they do is insane, and it's a real sort of testament to these two and how good they actually are, that they are able to carry a match like this, and it's amazing, absolutely amazing. So we go into the third and final four. Triple H comes back quickly, followed by Michaels, and he's suplexed into onto the ladder. The match goes back and forth here. They both have attempts to hit each other with the weapons. They're still scattered around the ring, got broken tables, used ladders, chairs, bins, you name it, it's there. And we've got then, obviously the ladder gets set up in the middle, Shawn Michaels goes for it, Triple H climbs up the ladder, and the conclusion of the match would be Triple H retrieving the World Heavyweight Championship after sending Shawn Michaels out of the ring once he was on top of the ladder and nearly touching the title, through the tables that were previously set up on the outside, which did actually get moved around in between the transition between the second match and the third match. So we knew something big was going to happen with that, and so it did. Shawn Michaels through the double tables, Triple H climbing the ladder and retrieving the championship, and we have a new championship. We have a new champion rather, because Shawn Michaels has put through 4 stacked tables on the outside. Triple H is once again your heavyweight champion, and he has earned this one. Obviously, the original run with the title for Triple H was questionable. He did defend the title well, and he did get put against some really stiff opposition, but he got handed the title, and I suppose that worked for the privilege of what Triple H was, or who Triple H was and his character at the time. And he really did earn the title back. And Triple H is your new World Heavyweight Champion. And so we conclude Armageddon 2002. The end of another year. It's been thoroughly entertaining this year, from WrestleMania 17, from the Royal Rumble rather, to WrestleMania 17, to everything. Actually, no, it wasn't 17, it was 18. WrestleMania 18, forget me. WrestleMania 18, absolutely fantastic. Rock Hogan, get Hulk Hogan coming back, winning the championship. Brock Lesnar just dominating and winning the championship. The Rock winning multiple times. Obviously, The Rock would come back in 2003, so we've got that to look forward to as well. And we're going to 2003 on an absolute high. This was a time where they did bring out the big matches at the right times, and I can't stress that enough. Like with modern WWE, you've got pay-per-views named after matches rather than matches being on pay-per-views that deserve big matches. They did sort of break that trend in Survivor Series, in that they bought the War Games match, but they took that away from NXT, taking that back down, sort of not down a peg, but back to the developmental. They're still having the pay-per-views, but they are all at the Performance Centre. They're going to try and build that up again, I'm sure, but it's they did book that trend with the War Games matches, and they were very, very good this year, very good, and deserve to be on the main show. But that does lead, we're talking about modern WWE again, it does lead me to believe that William Regal might be coming back to WWE and taking his role at the head of NXT again, because that would be really cool indeed. So, yeah, this is your last dual-branded pay-per-view for 2002. I hope you really enjoyed going through the year 2002, because I really have. I'm going to 2003 on a high, and hopefully 2023 on a high as well, to get us going. And yeah, last thing to say is, hope you have a wonderful Christmas. Thank you very much for supporting all of the channels, the gaming channel, the movie channel. They're doing fantastically. I don't get enough on the original channel, which is Cheap Shot Entertainment. Really do not get enough on with that, and I want to pick that up, but it's difficult working full time and then doing this and the wrestling training as well. I purely do this so I can go back and watch some of the best pay-per-views that you'll ever watch. And yeah, like I say, thank you very much for indulging me and my fanboyism and just wanting to watch the shows. I would encourage you to go back and watch your favourite shows. It is nostalgia at its best. There's some really good stuff on the network, including some of the foreign stuff as well. WXW is brilliant, and the old school stuff is fantastic as well. So yeah, have a brilliant New Year. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, whatever you celebrate. We're all human. Let's be there for each other. Let's show the love for each other, support each other, and not bring each other down, because times are bad, but wrestling is our escape. And let's be human. Let's just have each other's backs and just get through this together. Can't say how much I love you guys, because without you I wouldn't be still doing this. Even if it's only one play on the podcast and a couple of plays on YouTube, I just love it. And thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. Take care of yourselves. I'll be here next year. I hope you will be too. You are the Cheap Shot Nation. I am your host, Luke, and I will see you in 2023. Goodbye.
Hiya!